Is he going to run the start here, or does he need me to go live?
Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Fan Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. Huh? So come get some. CromCon. CromCon.
The sun peeks over the horizon. Your excitement builds. The animals in the field start to stir. The forest comes alive with sounds. The sunlight glimmers off the lake, and the mountains start to shed their morning fog. So load up your favorite ammo, grab a few buddies, and head out to make some memories. And tell the rest of the world that you've gone hunting. Gone Hunting is a 1 to 4 player game of family fun where you build a unique hunting ground, scout different animals, buy weapons and gear, and roll dice to hunt. Complete objectives and try not to miss. So let's load up the truck and back Gone Hunting today. See you in the field.
And hello and welcome, folks. Okay, I'd like to introduce you all to a very sweet girl, Riot Kitty. I've known her a while, and she's the one who did this pinup for me. If you can't tell from the comparison to her artwork she's doing now in it.
Hi, hello, everybody, and thanks for having me on. So,
Riot Kitty is a massive, massive sweetheart who just tries to support everybody she can find all over the place. And she's a great little artist, so I thought it was the perfect person to bring in to draw with me and just hang out because, honestly, I love hanging out with her.
thank you. I like hanging out with you too.
And then there is the craziness of working. So I have yet to actually start working on these. I've only done a few more chibi and manga style drawings, so working on the colors on hers is going to be fun. I want my shades to pop with my style, but also maintain a bit of that anime look.
All right. Well, yeah. Right now, I'm working on a piece. I'm sketching out my the main character of my comic, Victoria. So, if I would do that. So,
how is your work on basically working on it and learning how to do the different drawings you want for that going?
It's going okay. I think I just basically what I need to do and what I probably won't do till vacation is getting all the side character designs finalized. I have some sketches and stuff of them, but then I just need to put them all together. Be like, okay, side characters.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have like a completed draft of the comic. Probably looking at trying to get an editor soon.
That would be great. Definitely great. I know you were studying drawing when I first started talking to you and streaming with you because you wanted to work on trying to make these comics down the road. And I remember how devoted you were trying to draw and work every stream, every chat, every hangout back then.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a rough year. I haven't drawn as much as I wanted to, but I really want to get back into it after school lets out this semester. So
a lot the same here, between my medical I've been through, losing dad and everything else. It's just really didn't have it in me to do much for a long time. So
yeah, I've kind of got some family issues going on right now, so it's not been the greatest either. So,
but it's fun sometimes. Let me see something here a sec, because these are such delicate little drawings. Maybe if we switch to this layout, it's a little easier for people to see what we're doing.
Oh yeah,
that works. Yeah, okay. Because it just was so tiny, it was hard to see.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it definitely, StreamYards definitely makes it extremely tiny on there. So yeah, this looks much better for people to see what they're doing.
It works sometimes depending on the angle of the drawing people are working at and how it lays out in the camera. Sometimes it just cuts everything off and looks funny. But yeah, I want people to be able to see at least what we're working. But yeah, You did these and sent them to me, and you should have signed them.
Oh.
You got to start taking more pride in your work. You got to start signing the stuff you do, even if you don't think it came out the best.
I guess. I don't know, but yeah, it's all right.
Sign your work. I have been, I think, in a lot of ways, one of your bigger supporters for a long time.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I met you through you hanging out in the chat of my streams. But it's very much come out that we support each other.
Definitely.
And I'm so far behind. I have all these pinups I want to do. I have all these projects, and everything just got crazy.
Same here. I'm just now getting to my Ruby rewrite project, and then I still need to do family portraits for my comic characters, and like that's what I want to do. But right now, this is going to be this isn't even the family portrait thing. This is just something I had in mind for
and yes, hi Fizz.
So,
but I mean, I think that's the great part we've had with our interactions with each other, at least. And Hi Squad Leader is that we've always just been able to hang out, get along, relax, and not stress a lot.
Yeah, because like I don't know. At least for me, it like if you have a lot of to do, it like feels overwhelming, and then you don't do it. Basically.
Yeah. I had to learn a few things dealing with the interactions with the community. First of all, I way too much took on it, too massive and too intense of a project with my Eagle book for one person to do in a few months. I had no idea how much actually goes into photo books, and the average work schedules for them is insane. And
I remember you really struggling with that. Like,
it's not that it's hard for me; it's there's so much to do, you know. And then I started researching, and yeah, professional photo houses, between the photographer taking pictures and, you know, the crew that usually helps the photographer label, name, all that stuff, which I don't have. I don't have a crew helping me with that stuff. I'm doing it all myself. To the people who lay out, design, put together the books, to all this other stuff. The average photo book has a crew and staff of over 30 people, and it takes an average of 6 months.
Wow.
And I started looking at that going, I tried to do a photo book for my own photography while doing photography full time in a few months. Am I fucking stupid? And to a degree I was. I was cocky, I was arrogant, I wanted to do it. And I knew my photos were on, and I knew I'm usually pretty good at pumping out stuff faster than other people. So I sat there with, I'm going to do everything. I'm going to edit it, I'm going to produce it, I'm going to write all stuff up on where the photos were taken, everything. I'm going to pick the photos, I'm going to organize it, I'm going to name, I'm going to do it all.
Yeah.
That was not the brightest move I ever made, let's be honest. But I'm still okay with doing it all because I like having that control of my work. But I have to accept that I can't do it all and pump it all out like instant fire, you know?
Yeah, I definitely get that too. I kind of I took about 6 months for my first big video on my Ruby Rewrite project, and like, yeah, I'm just like, yeah, I need to go at my own pace. I was trying to get it out sooner than I wanted to, and yeah, it just like kind of sucked. So
it's one of those things, and I guess you could consider it arrogance and ego. It could be considered a lot of things, but I think what it came down to is we both just had that instant, we want to do everything. We want to do it all. We want to conquer. We want to kick ass, you know?
Yeah, I get that. Yep, definitely. Like, I wanted to do my comic first, but then, like, you know what? I'm still learning I'll just use my other project as a learning experience and then go from there. So
what I've decided on that is I don't think I actually like the whole campaigns and crowdfunding model and all that stuff. I don't like the needing to fill out 5 billion things and go to every channel and shill the exact same story the exact same way every time. I have to change how I was looking at things because that style just doesn't work for somebody with my mental issues and my brain and how I work, you know?
okay.
And so I've decided I'm going to go through this stuff. I'm going to make each book. I'm going to make each story. I'm going to make everything as I want to. But I'm going to do it step by step by step. And while I'm working on getting those steps and earning those steps, I'm going to start going through all my old art, all my old everything, and I'm going to start releasing things and putting things together. And it's going to be interesting. I'm going to release poetry books. I'm going to let out short stories. I'm going to put together all these things I've had for years that I've been pouring my heart and soul into and use that to start all these domain sites so I can start promoting other artists in the community who do more than just comics and the basic standards everyone does, you know?
Yeah, that's really cool. I honestly have no idea the first thing. Well, I mean, I like, or at least coding in a website, I suppose. I am learning graphic design, so I think I probably know a thing or two about designing a website, just not making the actual website.
Oh no, I'm not doing this from scratch. I am having my husband set me up with a program that'll do most of it for me. So I just have to click and select. I don't know fucking
good.
shit about computers.
Okay, yeah, that makes it a little easier.
I try, but let's be honest, I really suck at technology.
Yeah, I'm kind of like Stanley SquarePants. I touch a TV and it catches on fire, and then if someone else does it, it works. So
I have no idea what you're referencing, but it's okay.
oh, yeah, that's SpongeBob SquarePants. He has like a cousin named Stanley.
That would be why I never could stand SpongeBob.
Ah, that's okay. It ain't for everybody. I liked it as a kid.
I think it was partly also when it came out. I've never been a fan of certain voices and personalities for TV stuff, and I wasn't a kid when it came out.
Oh yeah, well that yeah, that's understandable. Yeah, it's a kid show.
It got popular when I was teenage and nearing getting into college, all that stuff, and like, what the fuck is this? It was my basic opinion back then, and in some ways still is, honestly. And so, yeah, we all have our issues. We all have our things we do, our ways we get through things. And one of the things that drives me insane is the way some people will just do anything to win. And that's what I've seen so much with the anti-Semitic people we know, is that if you disagree with them, they're going to find any way to try to degrade you, insult you, call you names, belittle your family, threaten you, while they're going to call you a hater. And it's like, okay, that doesn't work. They're not the hateful ones, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. And hello, Luke, and hello, Sketchbook.
Oh, hello, Luke. Hello. Hi, everybody.
And so, it's one of those things that makes me laugh sometimes. Sometimes it just frustrates the hell out of me. Depends on my mood, I guess, that day. I am not doing very well on this. I'm not necessarily in the most functional state today. In fact, I've been kind of twitchy and shaky today from my spasms.
Oh.
But I want to work on this when you're on camera with me, because this is me starting your set. So we'll see how far I can go before I just give up and let you draw.
Okay, well. All right. Well, you got a good start on there, so.
I'm trying to make this one a little crazier colors than I usually do, a little less of the subtle blend. Give it a little more of that anime pop. And a little bit of kind of crazy yellow and stuff like that.
All right.
I'm not sure through the mic how different our voices sound, but right now I'm the one that's hosting. So Riot is much younger than me.
Yeah. I guess you can just differentiate that way.
That's the other problem is we both get kind of giggly when we hang out. So
yeah. And then we probably sound exactly the same.
I have no idea.
Let's see.
Definitely not proving to be as easy as normal. We all have days like that, though, right?
Oh, I guess Sketchbook's asking for my channel link, so.
Can you throw it in the private chat so Pops can share it out for you?
Yep, I can. Let's see. Edit code, who you to?
I was thinking I would have had that already from you, but we've already ascertained I'm not exactly that thoughtful today.
Let's see. Oh, I guess. Oh, Sketchbook's up to me already, I guess. Oh, yeah, that's alright. I guess. Yeah, definitely like to channel and chat. It's alright. And thank you for subbing my Sketchbook.
If you're looking for my channel link, Pops can drop that. It'll be helpful. I'll get this as far as I can right now before my hands decide they just don't want to work.
Okay. Yeah, you know, with my art, I'm trying to improve, like, level of detail, to be honest. Like, a little bit more depth and stuff like that. I'm trying to make it less flat.
I haven't done a lot with anime styles yet, so I'm not 100% on all the details and how to do them here.
It's okay.
And thank you very much, Pops. You're so helpful. Mwah.
Yeah, I'm not up on that quite yet either. I think it's mostly the hair type thing that I'm working on.
Hair is the one. I tried a bunch of different techniques, and while I could do them the way people said, I was never that fond of how they looked for my style until I really started doing that, kind of 50s to 60s pop art style where I do the waves and then do all the blending on top of it.
Oh,
Since I
yeah.
started doing that, I like my style a lot more. And thank you very much, sweeties.
Thank you for subbing. Hopefully I get some more content out soon.
I have felt, since we first started getting to know each other, that I've always felt kind of blessed to have you around because you always are happy and upbeat and go lucky and fun for me to talk to. And you're always positive on trying to learn and grow and become better. And you help me smile when I'm not necessarily always 100%.
Oh, well, thank you. That's very nice of you to say.
And very honest. You're a very positive person to hang out with. I'm not completely sure. Let's see how this works. I'm like trying to figure out the best way to do kind of my hairstyle a little bit and still kind of use the curls the way you drew them. And I think I might have an idea that I'll at least use it some, you know?
Okay, nice.
It's always fun trying to do tails and shades and blends and stuff. This style does impact that, which is part of, I think, why I wanted to do the pinups like this and have all these different people draw them and have me color them.
Yeah, you get to try something new each time, right?
It ties the book together. It gives people something that this book is this person plus the people that she felt were most impactful and deserved it and stuff like that. But it also gives me a way to learn new styles, techniques, and stuff from people who will come up with patterns and ideas that I might not come up with.
I definitely get that.
And then there's just my love of Prisma pencils, we'll be honest.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to experiment with Copic markers now, so.
Markers are kind of a fight for me at times because they're helpful for some of the stuff, but I can't use pen for whole pages because I can't breathe around them that much. But I could see you shining with them with your style.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. It's kind of like there's no like there's just like one kind of tip for each one. Like there's not small tips. Like, you know, I do like these kinds of lines right here. So I'm trying to figure out a workaround for that. I have been blending them with ink, so that's been kind of helpful. But I need to get paper that actually, you know, doesn't bleed over. So
I would probably suggest you talk to Maki a bit about that stuff because he's actually pretty good at it.
Okay.
And you know he loves helping us out.
That he does. No doubt in my mind about that. So.
But let's see. Maybe I come through the light here. Look at the top and blend it in a little. Overpowering a little more soft. Maybe a little more animated than normal for myself if I can.
That's actually looking nice so far. I like how you're doing that.
Hey. Sometimes it gets fun trying to find my muse depending on what I'm doing. And the last couple of days it's been like all I can think of is words and scripting and writing and that's what I say and then never quit drawing. Well, the problem I have with that is I have so many art forms I do. I can't do every art form every day. You know?
Yeah, you really can't. Even if you're like the fastest artist in the world, I think.
And I love to try new things as much as I can, as often as I can. Something new, something crazy, something out of this world, you know?
Yeah, sometimes it's fun to experiment. I am doing like at least with digital and stuff like that, I've been trying to, like do weird things with my style a little bit more. And then even with traditional, like trying to overly ink it too. Like that's been fun, actually, doing black and white stuff. Yeah, I even did like oh shoot. Oh, I can't.
That's the weird one for me because usually with things that are black and white, my eyes do not handle it well usually
Yeah.
because it's so light sensitive. It kind of all like blurs together. I need the colors to help differentiate. But I seem to actually have a decent eye when it comes to black and white photography. But for drawings, I struggle with it. It's really weird.
I mean, maybe it's because maybe it's just because of like the contrast or something.
Maybe.
Like yeah, like with art, like it's like all different contrasts, but it's usually the exact same thing with like pictures, that kind of a thing. Like there's set values, so it could be that.
It's just interesting because every art form, even if things end up looking similar from different art forms, the techniques you use, the way you build it, the way you yourself can see and do things, it varies so much. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think some people don't realize how much that little variance can actually make a huge difference. And it can. It can make a huge difference in time it takes and how hard it is to do all kinds of stuff. And then just take a little tiny bit of this pen, the very tip of the other one, just help blend.
I'm still trying to find a good speed to draw at. Like I'm not fast at all. I fully admit that. I'm still trying to find a way to, speed up my process a little bit, but I guess I just haven't found like that sweet spot yet. I'm like, okay, I can draw this like this and stuff.
Is this when I behave and don't make the fast jokes?
Oh my god.
It's me. You should know by now when something like that's said, my brain goes straight to the wrong place.
Oh, I know. I know. Oh my god. Well,
we have known each other way too long, haven't we?
Yeah. Yeah, at least in the span of YouTube stratosphere.
So if you can kind of see what I'm doing with the hair here, if I can get it in camera.
Yeah, I like that.
Kind of get that retro, very penciled, very kind of...
Yeah,
I can see the marks and the lines of it, but it's still blended at the same time.
Yeah, I like it when, it's like kind of like light to dark on the fringes of the hair, that kind of a thing. That creates a really, really nice blend.
Yeah, I love shadows. I love depth. I love everything to really look 3D. That's me. I want pop and everything.
That's cool.
And I just thought of so many inappropriate jokes. It's not even funny.
Snap, crackle, pop.
We keep saying this stuff, and what are we going to make him think with his name being Pops?
Yeah,
why
probably.
do you torment me so? What?
Oh my god, well that was...
Let's go right back there. We are crazy chicas, aren't we?
Yes, we're crazy.
Crazy girls. I probably act more giddy and childish when I'm with you than I did when I was that age, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know what that says about me. I'm not the giggly type usually.
I'm not sure either, but whatever.
Hey, we have fun. Right?
Uh-oh.
Just have fun.
Yep.
Don't stress it, right?
Yeah, I try not to stress. If I do stress myself out very easily.
I remember how stressed and nervous I was the first time I went on a stream.
Yeah, like I was kind of like frigid and I don't even remember. Probably the Rookie Critic, if I remember correctly. But yeah.
I don't know. I don't know who you streamed with the first time. I know the first time you face revealed was with me.
Yep. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I was just kind of like, usually first time I meet people, I just kind of wait and see and then get into the groove and then talk. But then like when I get on like the very first time, I just like don't talk. It's a fan.
You didn't say much for about the first like half hour of that night.
Yep.
By the end of the night, you were giggling and getting up and down and showing off artwork to the guys.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, I just need to find my pacing and streams. Yeah, that was a fun stream. I like that.
I've always loved hanging out with you and Orange Chat and all of them. I miss a lot of the old crew when we don't get to hang out as much.
Yeah, same here.
I think we had a lot of magic when we had that group together. Woo! She's getting locks. Kind of that red-brown lock, isn't it?
Yep.
I didn't want her to be like overtly bright redhead like 90% of my drawings seem to turn out to be.
Okay.
I remember I was working on one of the pinups, and you remember Seth.
Mm-hmm.
And he came in and I was working on it, and it was a very risque pinup, bright red hair, and very, very top heavy.
I think I remember the one you're talking about.
And he comes in and goes, "Why are all your pinups look like self-inserts?" It's like, oh God. Right? Like, I just got really awkward when I did the Sun Kitty recently, because her face does look like mine, and I didn't realize that until after I was done and I looked at it.
Oh.
Then I looked at it. What the crap am I doing? Why does it look like this? Oopsie. My bad, right?
Well, I mean, sometimes stuff just happens.
You know, I think I found a good use for the curls the way you designed them.
Yeah?
I think it'll look good around her face. I have the whole stack here. Of course, my scanned copies, so your originals aren't messed with. So I scan and make 2 copies of each, and then I decide what I want to do with them and go from there.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty smart. Yeah. I really wish I could get like a scanner probably and like scan some of my artwork.
I will be honest, I've struggled with getting a hold of one for a long time, and I shamelessly used what I got during the COVID times for that, because the tribe had a government grant to send out a stimulus for every tribal member.
Oh, okay.
So, my husband's still working. I'm fine. I get a $2,000 check. I used some for charity work to help other people who were struggling more in that era than I was. And I used some to get stuff I needed to really build my art and business.
Okay.
And then I paid off some bills for my husband.
Definitely very practical use for 2000. I won't be able to get a scanner until I'm at my own place. But that's all right.
So I had no printer scanner for a long time. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm a little twitchy tonight. If I cut off, just tell me.
It's okay. All right.
Yeah,
It's
you.
okay.
I don't know when you'll get out on your own with what you're doing with schooling and other stuff. You gotta do what's best for you and with your family situation.
Yeah.
I've always kind of rolled my eyes at the mocking people for living at home or stuff because unless you know their story.
Yeah, honestly, I save like $4,000 a semester by living at home. So, and you know what? It's probably a good thing that I did decide to live at home with like the shutdowns and stuff because I did lose my job back then. So
Mm-hmm.
I would have probably ended up living at home regardless, and then be probably around 8,000 in debt. So right now I'm only 1,500 in debt. Like I did have to pay for some schooling, so and you know what, that's all right. So like
These
I'll just
are
get out my own when
Mhm.
I need to.
these are a bit different, Fizz, because she's more true anime usually. When she did this drawing for me, it was designed to look like a cross point between chibi and old retro pinups, and that's also where the color style has to be is between the two, not solidly one. So it's not quite the same. It definitely will look different as we're going. Riot is a little more, very much manga, chibi, and stuff in your art, aren't you?
Yeah, a little bit. Like there's some I guess like the proportions aren't really anime style, but yeah, definitely the faces and the way I draw hair is definitely that. So
Well, there are some anime characters that aren't as over proportioned as others.
yep, definitely I can see that. Like there's some like I guess like the Castlevania show too, like that kind of is like more realistic anime style, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I get that actually.
yeah, and then there's like super like I don't know if you've heard of a like a ranking of kings.
I don't think so, but I
Yeah,
don't keep up with
yeah,
much
it's basically
entertainment.
like kind of like minimalist uh anime style almost like you know like the like the like 1950s minimalism kind of thing going on with the character designs, but then like the eyes are definitely anime, so it's like kind of like this interesting this very interesting unique style I don't think I've quite seen a lot of.
And you know what? Honestly, that's what I prefer is unique. I don't care what realm, what group style, what overall style you're in. I prefer unique, even if it's not as necessarily technically good. I like when the artwork speaks of the artist. You know what I mean?
I like that too.
I think it's part of why I like Maki is because you never question what drawings are his. The character faces are unique.
Yeah, I know him instantly when that when a piece of art is mocked. Yeah,
From
that's
what I've talked to with people, the ones that recognize my artwork usually do by the hair techniques I use.
yeah. I kind of recognize it by like not necessarily like the way you draw, but like definitely the way you color is very distinct. So it's like I'm like, oh yeah, this must have been colored by Rosetta and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I really like your coloring style.
Well, thank you. And that's honestly what I want. I want to know people with different styles that stand out and they're not all the same realm. And I know people who can do amazing drawings, but their colors just aren't good. And
That's
vice
me.
versa.
That's me. I'm not very good at coloring, but I want to get better at coloring. I really do.
I can understand that. I just like
I-
like to create. It's not even whether or not the final piece is technically perfect or good, or I want to get better. I want to do as well as I can, but it's more the creation process. It's more using your mind, your creativity to come up with something. And if you fail, that's a learning point for the next one.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I'll also say we grow as artists. I think you have more technical skills being displayed in what you're doing now than when you did this drawing for me. This is still a good drawing, but you've
Oh,
definitely grown since then. I can
like
see it.
yeah. I will admit, like the drawings I did for you, like they look kind of like stiff. I'm also trying to work on like more natural looking poses and like fabric, that kind of a thing. So yeah, looking side by side, it does really look like I've gotten better. So I feel kind of happy at that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is the ultimate goal of any good artist: is to see their work develop, to see their abilities get better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like doing that too. I have seen a lot of common stuff where it's like, it's like, oh, like no one can draw in like, it's like, oh, I can't draw at all. And I'm like, yeah, you can. You just gotta work at it, to be honest. Like, I mean, like, if you look at art, like, probably like, yeah, I think it's 5 years before I started YouTube, you probably wouldn't recognize my art. Like,
If you looked at me a couple of years ago, you wouldn't recognize this stuff. I did not know what I was doing, and I was barely starting to learn to draw when I started to stream in 19.
yeah, I get that, but you've definitely like, I think you've come into like your own sort of interesting blend of style. Like, you know what? Like when you started, I looked at it, I'm like, okay, like faces, like, kind of like in proportions that kind of wise, like they weren't all that there, but you're definitely developing your own style.
No,
You're
there's
coming into
always,
it.
I think, going to be a little bit of the proportion losses and stuff, just from my random shakes and spasms I do have while I'm working. It's easier to cover up a small error when you shake when you're coloring than it is when you're drawing.
Mm-hmm.
But the faces are more on than they used to be.
Yep, I agree with that. Let's see. And actually over here, there's a bookshelf in my mom's office, and like it's something that like it was like a weird project where it's like we had to make a book based off of rhyming and stuff. Like I thought it was this, but now it's this. Basically, the format, and like I looked through that, and I'm like, wow, this doesn't look anything like I draw now. So anyone needs a little bit of encouragement that, yeah, I definitely did not wake up and start trying to like drawing like this, but years of practice.
No, I've known a lot of people. I think I've known one person who really drew well pretty much from the start, and that was my brother, and he never went into it or really studied it after that.
Hmm.
And I don't know why. All my differences with my brother aside, he was freaking good at it. And then he just kind of gave it up.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of gave it up for a few years because, I guess kind of I was a little bit sensitive back then, and they get ripped for my art a lot, so I just kind of gave it up and didn't really have the motivation until I actually So I watch people on YouTube.
Well,
And
that
see their
dingbat
stuff.
gave it up for 20 years, so
Who did?
my brother.
Oh, yeah?
We keep trying to tell him he should do more of the stuff again, that he was good at it when he used to do it. But I like Phil keep trying to get him to do anything sometimes. I have two brothers, and they're both their own distinct version of pain in the ass dick. I mean,
Yeah, that's family for you. Knuckle or is that? Oh no. Oh, there we go. I got it. Oh, yeah, yeah, Pop's like realistic. Okay, like, anime before the, let's say, 90s. Like, it was actually quite realistic, but, like, the thing about anime that remains almost consistent is the eyeballs. So, like, large, distinct eyes. So, like, you know, more realistic anime styles, like, kind of like, yeah, Netflix Castlevania is one of them. Where it's like you got anime eyes, but then they got noses and like more realistic proportions. That kind of a thing.
and then there's the hair here. I think it came out good.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did too. That looks nice.
And it only took most of the stream to get that hair together. Okay, one moment here. I gotta take this. Oh crap! Oh, I am so tired lately.
Yeah.
Get a drink here. Yeah, Sweet Little Riot here is definitely been a part of the growing artwork in my community and my streams and stuff. And so I thought I'd share her a little bit with this community that I'm working with now over here. And you guys could see a bit of what started me as a streamer and artist here. Is hang out with people like her.
Yee. Oh, hey, do you want to see that book I told you I got in the 4th grade?
Oh, go for it.
There. Okay, you're gonna see like something truly horrifying.
I mean, I see that all the time, but I could be really smart ass comments with that. It's just, I guess, the stages I go through right now. And as Riot gets that book and I get myself together here, I'm going to go off camera for a minute because I am not very functional at the moment. Like I said, her face turned out way too much like mine. But this is, I think, what I love the most about the whole stream community, about the whole comic community and all that is things we can do to help each other, to grow together, to become better people, stronger people within our communities. Because we work together, we help each other. And I love that. I do. And hello, Riot, sweetie. Do you see what I mean about her face looking like mine?
I'm trying to get it in the camera. Ta-da! This is 4th grade Riot Kitty right here.
And people who still can't draw that well as adults. I mean,
so yeah, if you're in the chat and you're like, I can't draw, just look at this, and now look at that.
the stages of growth.
Yep, definitely.
I'm not even showing anybody my failures. Not going to happen.
Nah, you're not gonna do that?
Look at my avatar and tell me if she doesn't look like me. Yeah.
That makes a little bit.
Quite a bit if you put me at that sideways. I'm not familiar with much of anything in the last about 15 years. And with how I've been feeling today, I can't remember the names of half the stuff I was familiar with before that point. So I know a lot of animes, but I rarely remember them by name. And it's not that I don't want to learn about a bunch of new ones. It's not that I don't want to find new stuff that I can enjoy. I just never have the time. You know?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there to watch. That kind of a thing. I just try to reserve myself to like 1-2 shows. That kind of a thing.
And usually when I actually can watch something, I'm working on a million things at once while I do it. So watching new things is rarely functional for me.
Well, if you ever do decide to watch something new, I recommend Spy Time's Family.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about a spy, and then he has to get with this really reclusive target to try and prevent a war. But to do so, he needs to find a wife and child in 7 days. So you can imagine how that goes for him, and then they basically all end up being a fake family together. It's great, it's wholesome, it's hilarious.
Like I said, Fizz, I'd have to look at the work to remember. I'm really, really stellarly bad with names and forget them a lot because of what part of my brain doesn't work very well. So
You know what?
I can know things like I can know things like a million times and I forget the names.
You know what? Like, yeah, I'm horrible with names. I really am, even with like street names and stuff, unless I've been on that street for years, so I kind of get the whole name thing. Like, yeah, I'm not sure who Naoki Urasawa is, unless you tell me, like, the work he or she's done. Like I probably know the work, maybe, but not so much the artist.
And I don't say that to diminish it or say stuff like that. To say that they're not great or other stuff. That, like I said, I probably know the work because I followed a lot of those artists back then. But remember the name? It's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
So I'll look up and see if I remember the artist after the stream when I have more time to get on the computer.
Oh, here. I can look it up. Urasawa. Let's see. Yep, that is.
Ah, okay.
Is... Oh, Monster. Okay.
Okay, so I do remember that name then. It's just not that way.
Yeah, Monster is a very infamous manga and anime, so definitely crazy.
I'm not one of those who knows everything about so many different mangas, animes. I'm not one of those who knows so much about any type of anything. But I do follow and like a lot of this stuff. But I'm always going to be kind of in between normie and geek on any genre because there's just too much of my real life that goes into things to ever fully get submerged. And also too many interests in too many different realms. And that's okay, honestly. It's whatever styles we all have. If that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that get to me and the ones that drive me insane, so to speak, are the ones who are so determined that they are the experts, they are the kings of everything, and they know everything in the genre, even though they don't. It's okay to know different levels. It's okay to be interested in different things. Just be open and honest about what you are interested in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like for me, I interact with a lot of people in here really into Doctor Who. I could never get into it. I watched like maybe 2-3 episodes. I'm like, yep, that's all right.
I never got the Doctor Who thing either.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, it's whatever. It's not for me. It's kind of like, I don't know. To me, at least, it felt like kind of like a grown-up magic school bus. Not to insult everybody who likes it. I'm just like, yeah, this is not my cup of tea. I don't think.
Well, and it's also one of those that I take a lot of crap for because there's such a huge fandom overlap between Star Trek and Doctor Who. And I am such a Trekkie nerd, and I was in so many Trekkie groups, and then I tell them, no, I don't like that show. And it's like,
Yeah, I'm kind of like a casual Star Trek viewer. Like, I've watched it, I know about it more than Doctor Who, but yeah, not Doctor Who.
yeah, see, and I am a Trekkie. I don't deny that at all. I laughed when my dad's, one of the things, last interactions I had actually with Dad was he had an appointment down on the res to go down and see the doctor. And he decided not to wear the shirt he likes to wear normally that I gave him. It was his favorite shirt for a long time.
Aw.
Well, the reason he decided not to is because he was going down to the reservation to go to Indian Health Services. The favorite shirt of mine that I gave him, that I went and got him, was from Riverside, the future birthplace of Kirk, and it's literally a red shirt, dead down on the ground with his phaser in front of him, and it says "Live Fast, Die Red."
Oh.
He kind of decided that they might take Die Red in the wrong way in an Indian hospital. And then suddenly that pops in your head, and you're like, oh, shit, yeah, I get it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, kind of.
It's like, oh, snap, right? But it was just funny because he's just like, oh, we're this one. It switches over to, because one of his favorite episodes, and it's not because it was the best written episode or anything else, there is actually an episode in Next Gen. Well, where they deal with a lot of the Old West stuff, but they also reference the city we were living in when it came out, that we lived in for 17 years. And reference the Old West area where we grew up. And so Dad always really liked this episode because of that. And that was the Fistful of Datas.
Okay.
Which was, they have a holodeck accident, and all the characters in this Old West program start getting turned into Data with his capabilities.
Oh.
So you can imagine a bunch of Old West villains with Data's skills, right?
That sounds crazy.
And they did a shirt as a tribute to that for one of the Trek Fests a few years ago, and I gave that to him too. And my dad wore the. There's a set of shirts that I gave my dad that he wore everywhere. It was the Live Fast, Die Red, the Fistful of Datas, the Trek Fest, Respect the Rust from American Pickers. And a couple of things like that. He wore these things for everything. American Pickers is an interesting one because it was one of Dad's favorite shows. He loved all the antiques. He loved the rowdy biker personalities the guys had, all that stuff. Their main shop, their main store that they do everything through is in one of the small towns. It's LeClaire, Iowa. It's connected to Davenport, right along the Mississippi and the Illinois border, right?
Okay.
It's about an hour and a half drive from where I live.
Wow.
And it was one of my dad's absolute favorite shows. So when he came over to visit me a few years ago, I took him down to the shop to see all the antiques from the show and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's things like that that are good memories, you know?
Yeah. It is. Oh, let's see. With my dad, I guess you could say I was born with a communicator in one hand and a lightsaber in the other, and basically massive Star Trek, Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
The whole 9 yards. And he actually took me down there to oh shit, like I'm trying to remember. Fudge. It was I was 7. So give me. I'm trying to remember. Like it's like he took me down to see this. Like I guess you could call it like a Star Trek thrift store. I think it was. I don't know if it's there anymore, but it was like in Pennsylvania when we were there visiting family, and there was just so many like little trinkets and like, you know what? I'll be honest, like yeah, Star Wars more my jam, but you know what? It's kind of like a little kid in a candy store, just looking at all this old stuff like from Star Trek, you know, like toys or like relics of like the TV show, that kind of a thing. Like they even had like a communicator that you could like buy for like $1,500 for like a really high tech one or whatever.
The interesting thing is, well, I've always been more Trekkie than Star Wars, but I loved both growing up. Riverside is supposed to be the future birthplace of Kirk. That was declared in the movies. It was hinted at before that, but
yep.
It's an interesting place to go to because it's a tiny Iowa town, which is connected to an Amish community. So when they do their Star Trek parade, you'll have like this float of their version of the Enterprise, and behind it is the horse and buggy tractor being driven by the Yoders, and what the and you go down the street and you have all these Amish guys arguing and debating between, you know, natural and historical versus technology and futuristic with a bunch of Trekkies.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's kind of an amusing image. That sounds like a setup for like an adult sitcom episode or something.
It's freaking hilarious, but they get along fine. They're not fighting. They're not stuff like that. And you go down there to Riverside, and they've got little trinkets all over the town and the signposts and stuff for different shows and stuff. But they actually have there what they call the Voyage Home Museum. Guess what that is?
Oh, yeah, Star Trek Museum.
Yeah, which they're all happy that their newest acquired item they got a few months ago was actually the desk that they used for data in the original Enterprise for Next Gen.
Oh.
They actually have the desk with a signed thank you letter, take care of my office work stuff from Spiner.
Wow. That's really awesome.
And so it's like,
I guess
okay.
my dad would love that.
I love going down there because it's a small little town. And while it is, you know, kind of Trekkie Mecca, it's not usually overcrowded even during events. It gets some decent crowds, but it's not like you're fighting through city crowds and shit like that. It's relaxed atmosphere. But it's such a Trek world. And it's something that, it's a place I like to go hang out. It's a place I buy a lot of junk at. I've got some schematics of all the original ships and the Deep Space Nine station and all that. I mean, actual full blueprint schematics with all these detailed, yeah.
Jeez, that's insane.
I might be a little bit of a nerd girl.
Oh my god.
Jackie nerd, right?
Oh, it's alright. It's alright. I probably do the same thing like with the Star Wars museum or something.
And I love Star Wars too, but I don't know. What's really weird is I'm usually more into fantasy than the technical and the sci-fi stuff. But I have such a fucking soft spot for Trek and Asimov and Henline. And that's about my soft spot when it comes to true, really sci-fi stuff. Everything else is like the sci-fantasy to fantasy, usually.
Yeah,
but
I'm definitely more of a fantasy gal myself.
I love mythology. I love history. I love fantasy. I love Tolkien and all that stuff. And Madeline Ingle and time traveling on unicorns and all that stuff. I mean, fine, take it. I love that stuff, you know?
Oh yeah, I definitely like a time travel type thing. Like I think
the reason I said the one I did with time traveling, well, technically it was a Pegasus, not a unicorn. A Swiftly Tilting Planet, the third book in the time series from A Wrinkle in Time.
Yeah.
Actually has what was the younger brother, Charles Wallace, actually traveling in and out of time and space into different people trying to stop a dictator from being born.
Oh.
And it was my favorite book when I was really little. Which it really was not written for little kids. It was written as, young adult to adult. It was written to be entertainment fantasy for teenage and adult people.
Yeah, I get that. Like, I think one of my favorite time travel stuff was, it's called The Missing by Margaret Peterson Haddix. And basically, the gist of the plot is you got a bunch of these kids, so like these guys steal these like historical figures or like whoever like from time, and then they bring them to the modern day. So like so basically they show up on a freaking plane, and then there's no one but babies, and to like save them from like other like horrendous fates or something. Like there's oh gosh, I think there's the Roanoke Island, the female from that, or like the daughter of the main guy, like John Roanoke or something. Like, yeah, she was one of those, and then like all these missing figures. There was even Anastasia and her brother Max or whatever. Like, so I love that. That was like super cool. I love like time travel that deals with like history and stuff. It was just so.
So it sounds
crazy.
like you would enjoy the book I loved.
Yeah, Wrinkle of Time. I think I read the first.
The first book is good. I always had a little soft spot for the anti-communist stuff that they had in it, which is why they never should have let Oprah touch it. I mean, sorry, did I say that? Fuck that little communist socialist bitch. Anyways,
yeah, the live action.
I really fucking hate Oprah. I don't hide it either. But anyway,
the adaptation was not good.
No, and they took out things that were really intentional if you read the book series. But the second book is A Wind in the Door, and it actually deals with space and size and them shrinking down to travel into the mitochondria inside the brother to heal him from a disease that's killing him and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay.
But it's kind of take a more fantasy version of Fantastic Voyage kind of stuff, and you kind of have it, a bit of it. It's really kind of unique in its own way. And then the other one, Swiftly Tilting, is the third. The fourth one actually goes more directly into the faith of the writer, as in the fourth one, the twins in the series screw around with their dad's experiment and end up sending themselves back in time to the time of Noah and the flood.
Oh.
And end up having to help build the ark.
That's unfortunate.
It's an interesting one to be sure. But it's one of those. Then the fifth one is hard to describe. And it's one of those I think you just got to read. It kind of ties it all together so they could set it up for the next generation. Because she did a large series that was written for teenagers of just young adult novels about her Megan Calvin's kids.
Okay.
Which tells you how they ended up, right?
Yeah.
But by the time you hit a swiftly tilting planet, they're married and Meg's pregnant, expecting her first kid. So.
Okay.
And when you get the young adult books, it was, crazy adventures, stuff like that. It's basically her fantasy version of writing things for teenagers, like the whole Nancy Drew Hardy Boys and all that kind of era. So there were some some mystery stuff. There was some stuff that was just crazy adventures, stuff like that. It kind of varied, but it was supposed to stylize after all of those popular teen book styles. And she wrote books like that though, and they had things like dragons in the water and stuff like that instead, where they're like solving mysteries about fantasy creatures and stuff. So it was interesting. But she was one of my favorite authors when I was young. So yeah, a little bit into the fantasy stuff. It is interesting that she was such a fantasy author because she was a scientist in real life.
Yeah.
And there are scientific theories that came out of those stories that she wrote. But she was more into the mythology and religion side of it.
You know what? That reminds me. One of my favorite book series growing up was Warriors by Aaron Hunter. So I like that. It kind of fell off, but like, cause like she decided to do like another one involving like frickin' polar bears or something. But yeah, I really like that. Like, and it kind of like, there's like frickin' ghosts and hell and whatever, like with like these tribal cats and stuff.
I'm sure with my obsession with dragons, you won't be at all surprised if I tell you I had a total McCaffrey era in my life.
Yeah.
Where I was very into all her Dragon and Acorna and all that books.
I don't think I'm surprised at that because I have seen you paint dragons and stuff.
Yeah, just a little, just a little.
Yeah, I was kind of like I guess like my go-to mythological creature as like a kid was probably fairies. So yeah, I just liked fairy stuff. Like I like Winx Club growing up. So
is this when I try not to admit that I get a great tickle out of the whole point of the fairies getting zapped with bug spray and Labyrinth?
Oh.
I can't remember, Fizz. I mean, when she said Warriors, it's like I think I read one of them.
Yeah, Warriors.
But I don't know it well.
Cats. Yeah, it's about tribal cats. So. Yeah, and they had their own society and stuff, like, so it was really neat and whatever. So.
I should release Tribal Fairy someday.
Release what?
Tribal Fairy.
Yeah?
It's a book I wrote a long time ago. It goes into a lot of the historical braves of the tribe that were women and different mythology and powers that were believed to be had in different humans.
Oh, okay.
I just have never fully accepted or agreed with how I ended it yet. I keep tweaking it, so.
Yeah, I kind of have some stories where I'm like, yeah, I think I feel like the way I wrote it wasn't very good. Like, there's this one I wrote, Heads of Hydra. You can kind of say it's like X-Men combined with the boys, if that makes sense. Like, where mutants are kind of made and then sold. So, like, cloned and sold, that kind of a thing. And, yeah, I kind of was just, like, I kind of wrote it as I went. And so, like, I ended up, like, writing myself into a corner. So. Yeah, that's why you get better.
We are such nerds.
Yeah, that's why you, like, always start somewhere and stuff, like,
Oh, God, it's been too long since I've been able to just sit here and bullshit with you about this stuff.
Oh, yeah, we should do it more often. Bullshit.
Well, my channel, we can figure out a schedule to do more streams together.
Yeah, definitely. Like, probably at the very least during my vacation time, like, away from school. Like, I would definitely be down for doing, like, maybe, like, a bi-weekly schedule or something, or, like, once a month. That'd be great.
Every so often, one that we can do together, and we can share it on both channels, whatever you want to do. Because me and you, we've always gotten along well when we talk.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And I've dragged you around the community to how many different people's art channels that you've been friends with over the last few years.
There's a lot. There's a lot, I bet. So, let's see.
And I'm trying so hard not to make inappropriate pimping jokes. I mean...
Oh, it's whatever. They'll fly over my head anyways, most of the time.
Oh, I know. It's crazy, but it's one of those things, I think, where we just... Too many people get so sucked into fighting and arguing and stuff. And, okay, I'll admit it. That can be fun sometimes. There are times I enjoy slapping around people, and that could so be taken out of context. Holy crap. But...
No. You like
No,
that?
usually I prefer being slapped around. I mean... I'm just saying. Anyway. Oh, Lord. What is wrong with me?
Hmm.
And then I could feel all the antis and SJWs going, we've got a list. We'll tell you what's wrong with that bitch.
Oh.
But, we got to do what we got to do to be the best versions of ourselves we can, to do the most we can to help other people. And look, that's when push comes to shove. That's what I want to do in my life, is just help share beauty with the world. Fuck all the drama, fuck all the rest. I just want to make people happy, help people become the best versions of themselves, and share beauty with the world while I'm here.
I get that. I think my reason for doing art is like, the world is weird. It can be nice. It can be bad. It can be somewhere in between. And sometimes it can be just insane. So I kind of want to like capture that in my art. I want to make weird, fun, sometimes spooky art. That captures life.
My writing gets very spooky and creepy and dark sometimes.
Yeah, mine too. I got basically I want to turn this into a digital piece, and I'm gonna have another character from the comic standing behind her. So yeah, and she has her eyes rolled back into her head. So yeah. And she unrolls them sometimes, so it's a little freaky. So if you want to get like an image in your head, it's kind of like the Cheshire Cat.
So we're all mad here?
Yeah, we're all mad.
We're all mad here. I would never say that, because I'm a sweet, innocent angel.
Uh-huh.
Come on, you're my girl. You're supposed to encourage people to think I'm sweet, pure, and innocent.
I don't know about that.
Damn it. If I can't get her to back me up on this, who will?
Alright, well, I think I got this sketch done. What do you think?
I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's gonna like go into... Yeah, the way I do digital is like I do sketches and then I import them on the digital program I use and then draw over them, basically. I don't know. I find it easier to like draw the subjects when on paper than I do on a computer. So
yeah, I'm not a fan of trying to do digital drawings and art. I'm just not. It's not me.
Yeah, I kind of like doing traditional better. It's just sometimes where I'm like, you know what, this would make a good digital piece. That's my thing. I think I'm gonna move over to this one. So this isn't of my comic. This is just something fun I'm doing.
Oh, it looks good though.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's a character from Ruby dressed as a character from Black Shooter. So, like, Black Shooter's an anime, and Ruby's a Western cartoon. But yeah, I just want to make that because the creator of Black Shooter actually designed Ruby characters for a spin-off, so I thought this would be kind of fun to do.
I can see that. So, I can make my brain fucking work.
It's okay. You don't have to force your brain to work if it doesn't want to work today.
Then I hit the disc like an idiot.
Oh. Right, I got my reference up here.
I do love how much you've grown as an artist in the few years I've known you. Because your art has definitely changed a lot since I first knew you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I've improved that much, but I'm glad other people.
Yes, you have.
Oh.
We are our own worst enemies. We get on our own cases. We get on our backs. We criticize ourselves. That's what we do as people. Sometimes we need somebody else to give us a healthy little boop in the butt to tell us when we're doing good.
Oh, yeah. I'm not very good at accepting compliments or anything like that.
Not that I need that, because I never put myself down, right?
Yeah, I think sometimes people need a little encouragement, that kind of a thing. Like I know Master's kind of, Master of the TVS is kind of the same way as me. So almost like I accept the compliment, accept it, even though I know I'm exactly the same way.
No, that's the funny thing is, most of us are so good at telling other people the right ways to do things while we fuck up and do the exact opposite ourselves.
Yep.
And I don't think it's actually being hypocritical or stuff. I think it's we just don't always, we're not as good at following the advice as doing it.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
I won't say there's not a few people I don't think are flaming hypocrites when they do it, but that's a different rant. There's a few people I never should have gotten as close to as I did. But that always sounds horrible to say, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm kind of like the same way with, like, graphic design, where it's like, I can tell you what to do, or, like, I can tell, like, okay, like, here's improvements you should make, but I can't properly execute it for the life of me by myself. It's just like, oh, God. So, definitely need to get better at that as I try to enter in the career field.
And I do want to apologize that I can't draw anymore. My hand just starts ticking too much.
It's okay. It's okay. I mean, you went on for as long as you possibly could. You know what? That's all right. I got to see color.
Well, we could always do this, I guess, and then switch these around so people can focus more on you. If I can get the switch, come on. There we go.
Nice.
So until we're ready to close down, let's focus on her. Riot is a badass. She's a sweetie.
I'm a bad.
I say that because I know it's going to make you giggle. And it's funny when you're calling yourself a badass and giggling in the same sentence.
Oh, yeah.
This might be my little vindictive side where I just like to be playful. Yeah? But heck, I actually do like how the hair came out. Yeah, I'm looking over at this again.
Okay. Yeah, I like how it came out too, like the way you colored it.
Like, I love the tendrils you drew, but they're very different than the style I draw. And they didn't really work the same way. So I'm like, how am I going to make this work? Take care of is. But, I mean, it's what it is. We all have our own style. If you had to pick out of the people that we know in our inner circle, I would say two of the more distinct styles outside of us would be Luke and Maki, wouldn't you?
Who was the first person
Luke.
you said? Oh, Luke, yeah.
Because he has quite a bit of that thin Barbie doll, but with a bit of the retro pinup and all that together, and it's his own style. They're gorgeous drawings, and they're very unique.
Yeah, but yeah, it's especially Makani too. Yeah, very distinct. Like both of them are.
And they're good guys too. And they're good guys too. Let's face that, right?
Yeah, I definitely like. I think probably like my favorite, like, or at least like growing up, like my favorite styles, like very distinct. I'll definitely say it, like I don't know if you know Kazuki Takahashi. Bless his soul and rest in peace.
A bit.
Yeah, yeah, he recently passed away, but yeah, creator of Yu-Gi-Oh! And definitely very distinct, like very different from.
See, I can admit that I was not as into his stuff because I was never really into like the Yu-Gi-Ohs and that. But I still know what he did for the art style, for the community, for a lot of the creation and the spreading of that culture, and I still really respect it and honor it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like he, like basically is probably one of the main influences of my style, like kind of like the sharpness of like the eyes, that kind of a thing.
Yeah. I also would say with the stuff that I know that he's been credited towards, the reasons that I wasn't as into them wasn't the art style. It was the writing style wasn't me.
Oh, yeah, I get that. It's not... Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is definitely a very interesting writing style. I will say that. And then also, like, I'm drawing Black Rock Shooter right now, but yeah, the creator, Hugh, like, definitely, like, I think I'm most, like, with art, I'm mostly drawn to eyes the most. Like, if you grab my attention with the eyes, like, you kind of got me hook, line, and sinker.
I get that, actually.
Yeah, you drawn to eyes, too? In art? Or...
I struggle a lot with drawing eyes, honestly. I don't know what that says about me. I don't know.
Oh, it's okay. You know, I think everyone's got something they struggle with. Like, I'm not good at hands. I really am not.
The weird part with eyes is the part I struggle with isn't drawing an eye itself. It's making them match correctly.
Oh, yeah.
I can do really creative, artistic eyes, but trying to match, especially with my tics and my issues, does not work well usually.
Oh, yeah. I struggled with that for a while, to be honest, making them perspective match or like, you know, just match up on the face. But yeah, it definitely takes a while to do that.
And I get very frustrated very easy and then start trying to trash stuff. I'm not saying that's a good thing, but it's true. I get frustrated, and then if it's not cooperating, I just want to break it to pieces and throw it in the fucking garbage.
Won't you get in trouble if the boss shows up?
Oh, no, it's the boss here? Hey, wait, I'm the boss.
Hi.
Hi, Pop. Hi, Pop.
Hello. It's been about 90 minutes. You figure it's about time to shut her down. I got another meeting to go to.
All right. Yeah, I was commenting in private chat going, when do you want us to shut down? Because I think we could just yammer for a long time.
Well, I mean, I didn't want to shut you down, but I do got to go set up another meeting. So.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much for another great show. You guys are awesome. Thank you to all the guests and everybody who, you know, tuned in, checked it out. For those of you on the replay, all that. Thanks. Go ahead and tell them where they can find you and stuff, and then I will close it out with a couple ads.
Okay. Hello, I'm Right Kitty, and you can find me on my YouTube channel. I think it was linked previously in the chat, that kind of a thing. And you can find me on Twitter too, where I comment on all sorts of things. I also have a Minds if that's your thing as well. Right now, my two main projects are working on a show of the Rooster Teeth animated show Ruby, and then my own original comic. So this is the main character right here, and I'm really excited to try and bring both projects to life on that. But also, I'm trying to do more art as I am busy with school, that kind of a thing. But getting a degree in graphic design and all of that. But yep, thank you guys for watching and coming on the stream, and thank you Rosetta for having me on. And we could probably go on for hours, but yeah.
But we're on someone else's channel, so we should wrap things up. This is me, your Rosetta. You can look for several things from me. You can look over on Twitter at RosettaQueen1 and watch me slap around trolls and bots. You can go to Redbubble shops, the One Eagle Rider, and for Twitch and One Eagle Rider over on Redbubble for Twitch channel and for merch. I am working on starting back up my old photography page over for Facebook, so that would be under Facebook. Look for Sue Naturalist. Other than that, I will be posting more different websites and things as I get them going over the next few months. So pay attention to the Twitter for updates. And of course the YouTube. I fucking can't think today. Just look for Eagle Rider for YouTube. It'll pop up directly under the bike company. It always does. I'm tired.
I'ma get it, you know I be on the way. Yeah. You know I be on the way. Man on a mission, I'ma get it, you know I be on the way. Yeah, it's all hard, ain't no fear here. You ain't giving this to all, you steer clear. Never beat, I've been down and I reappear. You got some money on the line, you better put it here. Rolling in and doing that work.
America's southern border has become a war zone. Human traffickers, drug smugglers, and terrorists flow across the Rio Grande with impunity, secure in the knowledge that no one will stop them. A distant federal government lectures Americans on their privilege while punishing overworked Border Patrol agents who were helpless to stem the tidal wave of invaders and determined migrants. Second-generation Cuban-American Marcos Zamora is a military vet, more patriotic than most Americans. No longer able to ignore the chaos at his doorstep, he acts. Joined by his best friend Gus, they hit the border every night, saving lives while stopping violent drug cartels and other opportunists. The government reacts with fury at Marco's attempts to preserve American sovereignty, deploying the full might of their enforcement agencies. But Marcos understands that the only thing the rich and powerful fear is bad publicity, and he records every encounter. Whoever he is, this private American must be stopped. Illustrated by Richard Bonk and written by Eisner winner Mike Barron, Private American is his version of Captain America, and maybe a little Punisher, taking part in this ongoing, violent, and very real battle of good versus evil in the war for American sovereignty. Grab your copy at theprivateamerican.com.
We have a secure border, and that is a priority for our administration.
Comic Books for Kids provides comic books to kids in hospitals and cancer centers across the U.S. It's a place where we can all work together to make sure every child has a comic book. 100% of all proceeds go towards the kids. It's about making a difference, and while they're in the hospital, allowing them to fly like a superhero, battle dragons, or rescue teddy bears. We are in every state in the country and now support over 160 hospitals. Every month,